Hey, I'm Doug McAllister, and welcome to Stories I Didn't Tell Last Sunday. This is the weekly podcast from Journey Fellowship Church, and we are excited that you joined us today. This is episode 23, and man, we are just thrilled that you have found us, and we are looking forward to a conversation today that we're going to have with Mike Sanders.
That's right.
Mike is a chef. He has his own YouTube channel. Also, you're a photographer. You do all kind of stuff, Mike. So I invited Mike today because we're going to talk about food. You know, there was a best-selling book a few years ago called The 5 Love Languages. You may have heard of it. I think there should be a 6th because my love language is food.
Oh, amen.
Oh, man. You know, we live in South Louisiana, some of the best food in the whole world.
And you hear it all the time.
Yeah, and I've had the opportunity to travel the whole world, and I have never had food like we have in South Louisiana. I heard somebody say the other day that when Hurricane Ida came through, they on the news they asked, why would people in Louisiana live knowing that hurricanes are coming? And the guy answered them, why would people live anywhere else where they know they're going to get bad food every day? Because in Louisiana, you never have a bad meal.
Man, let me tell you how long they've been talking about Louisiana food.
Yeah.
If you ever watch Andy Griffith.
I love Andy Griffith.
Not Andy Griffith, I'm sorry.
No?
I was talking about Daniel Boone.
Oh, my gosh, you went way back.
Okay, we're talking Daniel Boone.
Yeah.
And they're talking, I'm going to New Orleans.
Yeah.
Because, man, I love the food there.
Yeah.
I mean,
Hey, back in the 50s.
And I know.
That's a long
Still
time ago.
talking about it.
Yeah. Well, we're going to talk about a couple of things, Mike. I know you guys, you and Pam have your YouTube channel. Tell us what your channel's called and how people can find you on YouTube.
You know, we called our channel the Sanders Kitchen because we are the Sanders.
Yeah.
And we cook in our kitchen.
Yeah, and you said, well, that's a
It
very great
makes
name,
a lot
man.
of sense.
Yeah. So the Sanders Kitchen is on YouTube, and you started, what, about a year ago?
Actually, we did start exactly a year ago this month.
A year ago. Wow.
And a year ago, we had no subscribers.
Wow, 0.
And we
only one way to go up from 0.
You know, well, I think we started off with 2 subscribers, Pam and I.
Well, there you go. And now where are you?
We have 1,357 subscribers.
Congratulations,
as
Mike.
of today. And what's really interesting is that we are now monetized.
Yeah. Wow.
So we have...
You're making the big bucks with YouTube,
I'm telling you. And I looked at my projected view.
Yeah.
And I'm eligible for a 0.01, whatever that is.
That sounds amazing.
I mean, hey, I might retire.
Hey, man, they're paying you to cook now, bro. Yeah, well, I'm so proud of you, man. If you love food and love to cook, subscribe to the Sanders Kitchen because Mike puts on some great recipes. And I like how you give step-by-step instructions, starting with prep, all the way to the finished product.
I think that's part of the deal, you know, to let people know. And, you know, it's interesting. We met this young lady at the grocery the other day, and you know who we're, you know, I don't want to mention her name. She's a sweetheart. Yeah. But she said, I've tried to do a couple of your recipes, and it just didn't work out for me. You know, I couldn't, and I'm like, well, okay, I get that, because I've had that happen to me, too.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I'm not a good cook either, so I understand that.
Yeah.
I do enjoy watching people who know how to cook.
Oh, yeah.
Cook, because then you kind of get the flow of how it's supposed to look and what's supposed to happen.
Yeah, and you know, you really do want to try to educate people, and because sometimes those little things, you know, like do we do this first and then that second, or do you know, or is it better if you do it the other way?
Yeah, and it's important. You know, sometimes you don't realize why one step is ahead of the other. Well, there's a reason why.
That's right.
Know? And most of us who are not skilled at cooking, do it all together. You know, there's a science to this if you do it right.
Yeah, and you know, I did learn that a long time ago.
Yeah.
There's a science to it.
Yeah.
And it's just like in photography. Photography is an art and a science. And of course, you know, we're photographers.
Exactly, for years now.
32 years.
Yeah.
And so what I learned many years ago is once you learn the science, then you can become the artist.
Yeah, that's beautiful, man.
You know, you can't just be an artist without understanding the science, because you know, the exposure and all that. Yeah.
So of all the meals you've already made in the last 12 months, which one has the most views on your YouTube channel? Do you know?
Believe it or not, it's It's a melatonin dish.
Really?
Yeah.
So tell us, what is a melatonin?
A melatonin is a popular. It's a squash.
Okay, it's squash.
And around the country they're called coyote squash.
Yeah.
Here in the South we call it melatonin.
Yeah, I like how Cajun people say it, or Southern melatonin. Yeah.
Melatonin.
Yeah, we kind of give it our own little.
Yeah, and it has an R in it, like Merlaton.
Yeah, it looks like it. You spell Merlaton, but
nobody says Merlaton. It's Melatonin.
They let the R out completely.
Right.
So this squash is your most viewed. And do you stuff it, or what's special about
There's
the
so
way
many
you do
things you can do with it.
Yeah.
I think one of the things that we enjoy the most is like a squash melatonin casserole.
Yeah.
Shrimp and melatonin soup.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of my favorites. Now, when it comes to soup, I love that soup.
Yeah.
That's another video that we made that's doing good.
Which one?
Shrimp and melatonin soup.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Right.
But I have to admit, though, the red beans and rice. When I made red beans and rice, boom, that thing took off.
That's a classic.
Everybody wants to know how to make
dish.
good red beans and rice.
And I don't know, is there anything better than Louisiana red beans? When they're done right, slow cooked all day, it's just...
But, I want to get back to that melatonin because I just want to tell you something interesting.
Go ahead.
You take that melatonin and cut it right in half.
Right.
And you boil it. And it might take 45 minutes to get that thing soft.
Yeah.
Because you're going to scoop the flesh out. But you know what's in the middle of a melatonin?
No idea.
A seed.
Really?
And the seed tastes like an artichoke heart.
Really?
Now, how many people love artichoke hearts?
Man.
So we take all the seeds out after they've been boiled.
Are they big or small?
Oh, they're thin.
Yeah.
But they're probably maybe about a walnut size.
Oh, wow.
Well, as far as not round.
But size.
Just long.
And flat.
But it's kind of flat.
Yeah.
And it's soft and it tastes just like an artichoke.
How many seeds are inside?
Just one seed.
Just one.
But you can take that seed once it's boiled and soft and put oil and vinegar and a little salt and pepper. And I'm telling you, throw that thing in a salad. Do not throw that away.
That sounds amazing.
You could eat every part of that
Right.
thing.
Isn't that crazy? Yeah.
But that video has over 9,000 views.
Oh, my word.
And I know this year, as soon as melatonin's hit the grocery, it's just gonna blow.
Yeah. That's going to be a good.
But it's really cool to see
winter dish.
Commercials on all your videos.
Yeah, that's nice, huh? You're being monetized,
I can't
man.
believe it's really happening for us.
So you're opening your second career. You're retiring from photography, or kind of winding down, but you may be opening up a whole new career, huh?
Well, I think I have.
Yeah. That's exciting, man. First time I remember seeing you, Mike, was on Channel 4. Mm-hmm. Years ago, you were like guest hosting or co-hosting with Frank Davis.
Yeah.
So you were friends with Frank, apparently.
I became friends with Frank.
Right. How'd you meet Frank?
Yeah. Frank called us one day. We had a big studio.
Yeah.
3,500 square foot studio. We were blowing and going. We had so many appointments, you couldn't hardly get in for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
At a time. Anyway, Frank called and he said, I need promo shots and I need them right away.
Wow.
And I hated to turn Frank down.
Yeah.
I didn't know him, but I hated to turn him down. So I told my wife, who's making the appointment, I said, look, tell him that if he wants to, I'll meet him here at 8 o'clock.
Wow.
That'll give me time to finish up my last session, go home, get something to eat, clean up, and I'll come back to work.
Yeah.
And he said, perfect.
Yeah.
So we booked the session for like a Friday night or something like that.
Right.
And we didn't get out of here until about 10:30, 11 o'clock.
Right.
We did that. But after that
promo
happened,
for his show?
No. Well, he did a lot of book signing.
Oh, right.
But in addition to book signing, he would just give away pictures of him fishing.
I see. Got it.
Cooking.
Yeah.
And I mean, basically all we did was chef jacket shots.
Yeah.
And then we had one with his fishing clothes on and a little riding reel.
Yeah, I remember seeing those. So you took those then?
I did, yeah.
Wow.
And they were, believe it or not, it was, we did take them in color, but he had them we printed them in black and white.
Right. How many years was Frank on WWE?
Oh, it was over 30.
Yeah, because he was just like a legend here in New Orleans.
Oh,
man.
yeah. Well, Frank not only did cooking, but he did a fishing report. And
Right.
they called it the fishing game.
Fishing game. I used to watch it all the time.
And, I asked him, what happened to the game?
Yeah.
He
went out just to the fish.
He says, well, what happened was we would say, well, we're out here and the XYZ Bayou over here in Delacroix, and we just got through nailing, some ducks, blah, blah, blah. He said in the following weekend, there'd be 500 people out there.
Everybody's hunting duck,
And that's what happened.
Yeah.
They had to get rid of the game.
So 35 years he was on WWL cooking and doing the fishing game report, and you guys connected.
And then he did Naturally Nolans.
Oh,
so he
true.
did 3 things.
That's right, man. I used to love that too, man. He was interesting.
And I gave him a couple of ideas for that
Did you?
too. Oh, you should have seen.
Didn't they name the 5 Mile Bridge after Frank?
They did.
Yeah, because I remember seeing the other day there was the Naturally New Orleans Bridge.
Yeah, Naturally Nolans. Frank Davis Naturally Nolans Bridge.
Yeah, what an honor.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah, we lost Frank a few years ago, huh? He passed.
Yeah.
And when did Frank die? When did Frank die?
I think it's been probably about 5 years ago.
Been that long, man. Yeah, so you used to go on his cooking show because I remember seeing you, and he had a special name for you, didn't he? What did he call you?
Oh, he called me Little Chef.
Yeah, Little Chef.
Yeah, that's because about that time Ratatouille, the movie Ratatouille, the little rat,
and he
Little
nicknamed
Chef,
you Little Chef?
Called me Little Chef.
What'd you cook with Frank?
A lot of Cajun food, I'll tell you that.
Did you?
We did so much stuff.
Yeah.
We had some really good things and a couple of not so.
Did you learn anything from Frank?
I learned a lot, a ton of stuff.
Give us an example. What did Frank teach you?
Well, like mirepoix.
Yeah.
You ever heard of mirepoix?
I had no idea what that is.
That is what you call onions, bell pepper, celery. And now Frank had 5 things that he loved to cook with.
Right.
And most everything he had onions, bell pepper, celery, parsley, and garlic.
Is that the same thing as the Trinity that people talk about in
Louisiana the
cooking?
Northern Trinity is onions, carrots, and something else, and I can't remember what maybe celery or but in the South, our Trinity is like always onion, bell pepper, and celery.
Right. Those are the 3 things. Are those the main ingredients for the roux or for the gravy or for the meat?
Those ingredients go in so many foods.
Everything. That's why they call the Trinity. They're everywhere.
Sometimes Frank wouldn't use bell pepper.
Yeah.
Just depending on the dish. They were basic. Believe it or not, they were kind of Italian folks. I mean, they were Sicilian, and so a lot of things they cooked at home had red gravy.
Yeah.
But he loved his brown gravy, rice.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, one of the things that he cooked that almost freaked me out a little bit because I never had it was turkey necks.
Yeah.
But I love turkey necks.
Well, it's kind of hard to look at. When you cook it, I was like, oh, no, this doesn't look delicious, but they are.
They are when that meat's falling off the bone tender.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Frank would just cook anything. And, in Louisiana, we cook some of the strangest food. I mean, I wonder who the first guy who thought of cooking a crawfish. I mean, just to see him in the swamp.
I wish I had an answer for that. I do not.
Who was that guy?
That is a crazy.
Well, I've read a little bit about Cajun cuisine, and a lot of the dishes originated from the Cajuns who were just making a living off the land. They had to eat whatever was available.
Right.
So they took the crawfish and all the seafood and, the bell pepper and onions and celery and just turned it into the most amazing food ever,
what was a lot of fun on the show, at the end of the show, what people didn't see was after all that food was cooked, the people at the station took a break because after 9 o'clock, that show was over and they lined up.
Everybody ate?
I mean, it was gone. Gumbo, if it was a gumbo or a stew, I'm telling you, they scraped the bottom of the dish.
Was Frank a Cajun chef or just Louisiana in general?
I really want to say just Louisiana in general. And he cooked so many things.
Right.
If you look at his cookbook, as a matter of fact, we're getting ready to do a recipe today.
Really?
A Frank Davis recipe called Halftime Chicken Wings.
Are you really? It's going to be on your channel?
It will be.
I got to watch that one, man.
Yeah.
Would you consider yourself just a South Louisiana chef or a Cajun chef? What do you think?
I'm going to say a South Louisiana chef.
Yeah.
My mother was Italian.
Yeah.
And my dad's mother was Italian.
Yeah.
And his dad was a German.
Yeah.
And Now, I think, but Grandma, I mean, she didn't cook German food. She cooked Italian. I mean, she never did cook anything.
So you have a lot of
German.
Italian influence.
Oh, big Italian influence
in your dishes,
right? Yeah. And if you would read the history on some of the dishes like grits and griots, and tomato. Did you know that a tomato was not a popular thing in this area until the Spanish people moved in?
Really?
Or I mean, in other words, when other influences started coming into the country,
right?
From different parts of the world,
right?
They brought their food with them, their recipes with them.
Yeah.
And if they didn't have tomatoes, they'd grow them.
Yeah. And you know what really is interesting, too, about all the people coming in from other countries? When the King of England forced the Acadians in eastern Canada to leave the nation of Canada, they took boats all the way down the Atlantic seaboard to the Gulf of Mexico, and they landed in what is now Lafayette and the general South Louisiana area. So the word Cajun comes from Acadian. It's a corruption of the word Acadian from Canada. So they brought their food and their dishes with them, and just used the produce that was available in South Louisiana, and was born now this international cuisine that we call Cajun food.
Right.
You know, and it came out of people's suffering and pain, and probably everything we ever do that's worth doing is born out of our own suffering and life experiences. And then you bring in the Italians and the Germans and all the influences of other immigrants coming into the nation. And man, that's why Louisiana was a melting pot. We were ruled by the Spanish. We were ruled by the French. We were ruled by the English.
Yep.
We were ruled by lawlessness for 100 years. So all of those things become like a melting pot. And now here we are in the 21st century, still eating the food of all these amazing cultures. They kind of all blended together.
Yep. Yep.
So it's such a good place to experience a lot of different food.
And through the friendship of Frank, I've had an opportunity to meet a lot of really awesome chefs like John Folse.
Did you really?
And I can't remember who's the lady.
I don't know.
Oh, Leah Chase.
Okay.
I had to look over there and get my answer.
You had to get a cue from Pam?
Yeah.
So you met some really world-class chefs, huh? Yeah.
Oh, we met some really awesome people. Now, you asked me earlier about cooking with Frank.
Yeah.
And how did I become friends with him?
Yeah.
So I just want to elaborate on that a little bit.
Story.
So basically what happened was, because Frank needed some photography, and we provided him with that. So then one day he came in to pick up his order.
Yeah.
And they were casually dressed, he and Mary Claire. And I said, so what's going on today, Frank? And he says, I have to go get my boat from the boat launch, he said, because I'm not using it. He said, I'm just going to sell it. Yeah. And I said, okay, so where is it? He said, it's down by the Wrigley's.
Yeah.
And I said, well, if you don't mind, I'm just curious, which one is going to back the trailer down?
Yeah.
and who's the other one going to drive the boat around?
And load the boat.
Because I couldn't really see Mary Claire backing the trailer down, or driving the boat.
Yeah.
And he said, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Like that. And I said, look, I have my own boat. I mean, so why don't you just let me come help you? I'm not doing anything right now.
Right.
And he said, oh, no, man, don't worry about it. And then Mary Claire stepped in and said, Frank, let him help you. So she stayed there and became friends with Pam.
Oh, that's so wonderful.
And I went over there and helped him get the boat out. And then on the way back, and that was a Wednesday, and I'll tell you why I remember it, because Thursday was his fishing report.
Yeah.
So he says, hey, man, what are you doing tomorrow?
Yeah.
And we're on our way back to the studio where he could pick up Mary Claire. And I said, well, I probably have some appointments tomorrow afternoon, but I don't think I have anything in the morning. Wow, what's going on? He says, well, I'm doing my fishing report. I want you to go fishing with me.
Oh,
that was my first. So that's really where it all began.
So where'd y'all go fishing, in the Wrigley's? Do you remember?
I think we went to Shell Beach.
Really?
Yeah.
What'd y'all fish for there?
We redfish, trout.
Yeah, I caught some.
We did.
Yeah,
we did, and it wasn't a really great day because it was really cold, and it was super foggy. You couldn't see. I don't know. I was scared because you cross the ship channel, you can't hear a ship coming.
That's frightening.
It is. Yeah. Because you couldn't see 7 feet away from the boat.
Oh, my word.
It was that foggy.
That's when you stay on the bank, man.
Oh, man. I told the guy, I said, man, look, do me a favor. Just get over to the side as quick as you can. Yeah. Because I know I'm in my own boat. I've been there. But anyway, so we made friends with Frank and Mary Claire. They came over for dinner one time. Yeah. And I had beef stew. Yeah. And he says, Mike, this is probably the best beef stew I think I ever had. Wow. I said, come on, man. Don't, I know you cook beef stew. He says, no, I'm serious. He said, I want to know, where'd you get the recipe? Yeah. And I said, I just pulled it out of my head. Yeah. He says, well, you better write that recipe down because you don't want to forget that.
So you made it up.
And then that's what made me start thinking, I need to start writing things down. Yeah. But then I admitted to him, I said, look, Frank, I have never really written a recipe. He says, well, I'll send you a format and you can just erase my stuff and put your own stuff in. Got it. And he says, as a matter of fact, if you don't mind, I would like to do that on Tuesday's show. So could you write it like right away? Yeah. And I said, yeah. I said, well, if you're going to do it on Tuesday's show, can I come watch it? Yeah. And he says, better still, why don't you come help me cook it?
Oh, my gosh. What a privilege,
And
man.
I said, man, that would be awesome. Yeah. So we all went up there, and there was 4 of us standing in front of that little countertop. Right. And then he said, man, I had so much fun at the end of the show. He said, I had so much fun doing this with you guys. Yeah. Would you please come back? Wow. Come back every Tuesday.
Wow.
And so Pam and I said, we had so much fun too. Let's do it. Yeah. I mean, we didn't mind getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, that's early. Yeah.
We had to be there for 5, get the set ready to go on air for 6. Yeah. But anyway, eventually it was kind of, we were pretty tired by the end of the day. So Pam bailed out. Yeah. And, and it wasn't just that she didn't enjoy it. She did, but we were shoulder to shoulder. And when they tried to get a good tight shot of Frank, they couldn't because shoulders were in the picture and all that. So anyway, so then it got down to the 3 of us. Yeah. And I was regular.
You, Frank, and who else?
Mary Claire.
Oh, Mary Claire was there.
And then Mary Claire needed some knee surgery. Right. And she said, Mike, if you're going to keep coming every Tuesday, then I just want to go have my knee surgery because Frank, I hated to do it because Frank needs help. Yeah. And I said, I'll be here. Yeah. So guess what?
You became the co-host, huh?
I was Chef Mike.
That's so great.
And it was so cool to hear Eric and Sally Ann say, well, good morning. And this morning we have Chef Frank Davis and Chef Mike in the house,
Dude,
and it was so cool,
That's so good.
But look, I didn't know everything I know now. Yeah. It's always a learning process. Yeah. And we made some mistakes. I've made some, but Frank taught me how to take those mistakes and turn them into funny things. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's really part of life, isn't it? Is just rolling with the punches, man.
And let me tell you, one time Frank says, Mike, when we get on the air, I'm going to ask you, you ever have a bag of brown sugar stuffed back in the pantry, and when you finally, you don't use brown sugar that often. When you pull it out, it's like a brick.
It's hard. Yeah.
How do you soften it? And I said, oh, man, that's easy. Yeah. He said, really? How do you soften it? I said, I just put it on right under the tire of the Suburban, and I roll over it one time. And if that doesn't do it, I will back it up and hit it one more time. Yeah. He says, oh, God, that is so funny. Yeah. He said, you need to say that. Yeah. So we did this little bit when we got on the air, but he says, look, all you really need to do is throw it in the microwave for 20 seconds. Yeah. And he said, and then if it's not enough, you can go for maybe another 10 or 20 seconds, but it'll soften up. And I said, wow, okay, that's interesting. Yeah. So what I didn't know was he went in the back of the kitchen where the microwave was, and he put the brown sugar in there because he had a bag of lumpy brown sugar. Right. Except he didn't hit the numbers right. Yeah. He put it on 20 minutes.
Oh, my word. That's not
And he had it in a Tupperware bowl.
That's not going to be good.
So that whole big plate turned into molten sugary, sweet Tupperware.
Right.
And when I saw that, he says, "Bring it out. I don't care what it looks like."
Oh, yeah. You may not want to show that.
Oh, yeah. He showed it.
Did he really?
He did. He said, "This is what happens when you hit the wrong numbers on the microwave." It was bubbling. Oh, my God.
Tupperware.
I'm telling you, the man was amazing.
Yeah.
He could just take something so bad and everybody just be laughing. They would laugh and love
I sure
it.
missed the fishing game report. I missed the cooking with Frank in the morning.
Yeah,
Naturally Nollins was.
He was a brilliant guy. Really was.
Man.
Look, everybody has their moments, but Frank was brilliant, and I loved working with him.
Yeah, what a good heart.
And I did learn a lot. So, thus. The Sanders Kitchen.
Speaking of work, so you were a photographer for 32 years, and you've been in the industry, and you've watched all of the technology just race by you. I bet when you started, you were still taking photos on film.
Oh, yeah.
And then now everything's digital. And then there's been like 4 or 5 generations of photography, revolutions.
So
how'd you manage that?
So when I started, I just want you to know that yes, we were shooting color film. Yeah. I have friends that were in the business when everything was black and white.
Yeah, wow.
But when I started, we were doing a lot of high school senior photography, and the yearbook people needed black and whites. So I would have to take the negative.
Yeah.
And I had to have a dark room.
Right.
And we would just make hundreds and hundreds.
And what year was this you started?
In 1989.
89. Yeah. I remember as a little boy back in the 70s, my mom would schedule family photos at, I forget the name of the company now.
Where were they located?
We were in Hammond at the time. Olin Mills.
Yeah.
You ever heard of them?
I thought it was Swollen Hills.
I don't know what
Okay,
it was.
I'm sorry.
One or the other. But it was an event, man.
Yeah, Olin Mills, right.
Mom, everybody got new clothes. It was a whole day's adventure. We would go to the studio.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody had to have their hair combed. It was like, it was a rare event to get your picture taken,
Oh, yeah. Pam and I did the same thing, and we had 4 kids.
Yeah.
And, we have a combined family.
Yeah.
I had 3 boys, and she had 1, but they were 3, 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah.
Yeah. And our first family portrait, we still have it.
Yeah.
Nobody matched anything. Plaids and stripes and solids.
I remember that, especially in the 70s, man. Everything was psychedelic. Everything was colorful.
If you could smile for the camera, it was good.
Well, my mom and dad, this was like 1970 or 71, they had 5 kids, and I was the youngest. Mm-hmm. So that morning, we all got up. My sister was already married, so she had to drive in from out of town. And you had a family photo with mom and dad and the 5 kids. My sister was probably close to 30, and I was maybe, 12 or so, or whatever. So she was the oldest, I was the youngest. But mom made sure that we were all had our hair cut, and it was an event where now photos we take 100 photos sometimes a day. I read this the other day, and I guess it's true. I don't know. Everything you read on the internet is definitely true. Yeah. So I read this on the internet. I don't know if it's true or not.
Yeah, right.
But they say that this year Americans will take as many photos this year as we took in the first 100 years of photography.
Oh, absolutely.
We would take as many in 1 year. So the hundreds of millions, and that's just selfies.
That's just selfies, right?
Yeah. There was a day when, you didn't waste film. I mean, you had 12 shots, man, or 16 or whatever it was, and you're not going to waste it, You're going to wait. Yeah, I'm not taking a picture of that. I'm taking a picture of that. Because, you got so many opportunities, then you're out of film. Back then, if you took a photo, it was you and something famous happening or something big. Now this is my breakfast. This is my lunch. We take photos of
what's funny?
Everything.
What's funny in relation to food, there was a cartoon I saw recently, and the waitress came out and said, "Is there something wrong with your food?
Yeah.
Because you hadn't photographed it yet."
It's so true. This is what's for lunch.
Yeah, look, I'll order the such and such. It comes out, and they're taking pictures of the
and
food.
that happens every time, especially if we get out-of-town guests who come into our church, we take them out to eat afterwards.
Yeah.
Almost without fail, they take a photo and send it back to their spouse or their friend. Hey, they've never seen crawfish etouffee. Click,
Can I tell you a funny story?
Posted on Instagram,
So back in like 1994 or 95, we had just opened the big Visions photography studio on Front Street, and we had a grand opening.
Yeah.
We had invited a lot of people from the town, mayor and oh God, we had so many. And the lab that we use, and we still use them, they're in Kansas City, Missouri.
Right.
And so they had people that came down, and the guy that actually helped me design that place lived in Carlsbad, California. He was there as well.
Yeah.
So we had lab people, the Jerry from California, and I don't know, it was about 5 or 6 of us.
Yeah.
And I wanted to treat them to a special dinner, so I took him to a seafood restaurant.
Right.
Well, Jerry from California, okay,
Yeah.
so Jerry says, Mike, I have no idea what to order.
Yeah.
just order me something really good that you know I would like.
Yeah.
And he says, but I just want a sandwich.
Yeah.
Well, we ordered him a soft shell crab.
Po' boy?
Po' boy.
Oh, heck yeah.
Well, when he saw that thing
Yeah.
with the legs
All the
hanging off of he's like, I'm not eating that.
Can't do it.
He said, I'm sorry,
Dude,
I can't
he
eat
missed
it.
a
Can I
treat.
just have a ham sandwich, please?
He passed up soft shell crabs.
He passed up a
my
soft shell
gosh.
crab po'
They do
boy.
look horrible in the po' boy. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you grow up looking at that, it's like that looks normal, but it's like that looks like a sea spider.
Well,
What am I-
speaking of spiders, we just did a video on fried shrimp
Yeah.
and fried spiders.
Yeah. Really.
Yeah. Have you ever fried a spider?
No, but we've eaten them before. We ate fried scorpions, fried spiders, and fried grasshoppers in China.
Okay, now these aren't real spiders.
Oh, they're not real. What are they?
No, it's where you take the shrimp head, you stick your finger in it, and pull the body out.
Right.
And it's got the legs on it.
Oh, yeah.
And you clean that
It just
off.
looks like spider.
It looks like a
well,
spider.
we ate the real thing. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I wouldn't do it again. Yeah. Yeah.
No, but we call them fried spiders because it's got
Yeah.
the legs.
Yeah. Right.
But,
well, there's so many interesting things to eat and then take pictures of, So if you're new in Louisiana, every dish is picture worthy,
Yeah.
because we have digital cameras. I was thinking about the first time my mom gave me a camera, and it was a treat because, taking pictures was so rare. And she said, be careful how many you take because we got to send them off and get them developed.
That's right.
So there was a time when you took pictures, mailed them off for 2 weeks, and they came back, to the drugstore or wherever,
Right.
and then you finally get to see your pictures after 2 weeks.
That's right.
And you go through them, and half of them were of your thumb or the bad lighting. You got one good one, and it wasn't even your family; it was a stranger walking by.
Yeah.
And it's crazy how much technology.
And
has
let me tell you,
changed.
people always ask me, and it happens still today. What would you rather, film or digital?
Yeah.
And I have to admit, I'd rather the digital.
Yeah. Well, me
It's
too.
by far the best.
Because, your picture taking skill as an amateur like I am goes way up with digital. If you had to actually light every picture like you have to as a photographer, then
lighting
it's
and all
different.
that's a whole different thing. But look, we're in the French Quarter, and we're right in front of the St. Louis Cathedral, and I have this big wedding party, and I'm photographing them, and there's this guy digging in a garbage can.
There you go. Yeah.
And we're all laughing about it, and one of the big bulky groomsmen says, you want me to get rid of him for you? And I said, he's not even there.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
not even there. He says, what do you mean? I said, when I get back at that studio,
We edited him out.
he's just going to become another tree.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I never thought of that.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah.
So no big deal.
So you've spanned the generations from film to digital, and you're still taking pictures.
Oh, yeah.
I know you're
Oh,
still involved with schools.
What's
and so
interesting
forth.
is that all my digital cameras now all do video, and I've never done a video.
Really?
All the years that I've had cameras that did video, I've never touched the video button on that thing until now with the Sanders Kitchen.
Yeah. And look at that. So you're still involved in photography.
Oh, yeah.
Even in Sanders Kitchen.
Yeah, and actually I think that's probably why my videos, if progressed rather quickly because people were saying, I just start off with the iPhone,
Yeah.
But
well, you're a photographer by trade. You have the equipment. Why not just?
I know. I just wasn't happy with the iPhone. I mean, the pictures were okay, but the actual video footage, not
Some
so
of the
good.
YouTube channels that I've been watching are very poor in quality. I mean, yours is top notch, and Cade, who produces this podcast, is top notch. But a lot of YouTube channels, they're using a phone. And sometimes they're using it in the wrong way. They have it up straight up instead of a landscape, But yet people are so hungry for content,
Yeah.
And, I have a couple guys I follow in East Tennessee, and they're not great photographers or even great hosts, but they have 10, 20, 30, 40,000 subscribers because we live in an age where people want to connect. And now because of social media, you can find out what's going on in Tennessee or in Timbuktu. Because of people's YouTube channels.
It was really amazing. I had a couple of people, and maybe more than a couple, from other countries subscribe.
Yeah.
And I don't know who this one lady actually is, but she said to me, the people that I work for would love this recipe.
Yeah.
But she said, I have to present them with a list of things that they would possibly want to eat.
Yeah.
And then she said, and so the Tuscan garlic chicken is one of their favorites. And thank you for that recipe.
Wow. Interesting, huh? Wonder who the people are that she works for.
I'd like to know, but I don't know that.
Maybe we don't want to know.
Maybe we...
The people she works for wants to know.
That's right. Yeah, she is their chef.
Yeah, that's really cool, man.
And I thought that was pretty cool.
All right, so as we get ready to wrap it up here, what is some of your favorite dishes that you love to cook just for your family and for friends?
I'm going to go back to red beans and rice, gumbo.
Yeah. What kind of sausage do you put in your red beans?
Definitely an andouille sausage.
Andouille.
I love a little smoke flavor.
Yeah. How long does it take to cook red beans if you do it the Louisiana way from start to finish? Is it an all-day deal?
I can tell you exactly.
Yeah.
It's 90 minutes in the pot.
Yeah.
But you got to soak the beans overnight.
Okay. So really,
if you don't soak them,
it's a 24-hour process, basically. Then.
You've got to soak your beans.
Yeah. And why do you soak them?
Well, they're going to absorb a lot of water.
That's part of the science.
Yeah, you see, you're going to, and if you look at the package, it'll say you need to use 8 cups of water if you cook the beans.
Yeah.
You don't need 8 cups if you soak them. You only need 7.
Really? See? There's the science.
Because they're absorbing the water already.
Yeah. So you soak them all night in just plain water.
That's right.
And then you get up the next morning and do what?
Well, you're going to saute all those onions, bell pepper, celery, parsley, garlic. You're going to saute that down.
Yeah.
You might even want to fry a little bacon in it. Because let me tell you, a good smoked bacon goes a long way with some red beans.
Yeah.
And then you definitely want to use some ham.
Yeah.
If you have a ham bone, throw that thing in. If you don't worry about it.
So 90 minutes cooking with...
But definitely, once you saute everything down, throw your beans, throw your water, a little chicken flavor.
Right.
And you're just going to simmer for 90 minutes.
Okay.
And you have to stir about every 10 minutes, maybe no more than, maybe 7 minutes or so. You're going to take that thing and stir it because you don't want it all. It's going to settle down.
For the whole 90 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
Until they're creamy?
It's going to be creamy.
Yeah.
Guaranteed. And, look, cook them early, put the lid on, and when it's done, turn the fire off. They just get creamier just from sitting there. Sometimes food's better the next day.
Absolutely. Especially red beans. Do you do fried chicken with your red beans sometimes?
Or fried fish.
Yeah. Do you fry fish? I mean, chicken the old-fashioned way.
I like deep fried.
Yeah.
So Mom used to fry it in a skillet.
Yeah, my mom did.
You know what's interesting about that?
Yeah.
Mom would fry. She'd have meatballs and spaghetti and fried chicken.
Yeah, really.
Yeah,
that is interesting.
And then after lunch, it would all get packed up.
Yeah.
And it would sit on the stove until supper time.
Wow.
Didn't go to the refrigerator.
Fried chicken is such a Southern staple. My mom cooked it at least once a week. We would fry chicken. It was like the highlight of my week when Mom was frying chicken. But she'd buy the whole chicken, cut it up. And sometimes we lived out in the country. She'd kill her own chicken.
Oh, yeah.
That was the real fried chicken deal, man. I watched my mom, start from scratch, Literally scratch, and cook a fried chicken, man. And it was just amazing, man.
That is amazing.
Yeah, and she'd butcher the whole chicken and do the whole prep work.
Are you familiar with St. Claude Street?
I've been there, but I'm not too familiar with it.
Okay, where Franklin and St. Claude meet, right about a block or so, a couple of blocks in there.
We had a campus at Journey. It was off St. Claude.
Okay.
On Alvar. Yeah.
Well, right on St. Claude was the St. Roch Market.
I know where it is.
Now I was a little kid, and I do vaguely remember going in that area because actually the barber I used to go to, Frank Silva was right there.
Yeah.
And but anyway. My mother would go to the St. Roch Market and pick out the chicken she wanted.
Yeah.
They would take it in the bag and come out with.
Wow. You know what I noticed the other day? Yeah. Now, we've had Kentucky Fried Chicken for years because of Colonel Sanders. Popeyes, a few years ago, rebranded their chicken Louisiana Kitchen chicken. Well, Church's just rebranded theirs, and now they're calling it Texas Chicken.
Really?
So we got 3 states worth of chicken now: Kentucky, Louisiana, and Texas.
Huh.
I guess because chicken is just such a staple part of our diet.
I can't. Today we're going to be doing making a video called "Halftime Chicken Wings."
Yeah.
But then tomorrow I'm going to be doing chicken piccata.
Yeah.
I love some chicken now.
Man,
chickens won't last long in my house.
I know, it's the best. Well, look, as we're wrapping it up, Mike, just tell everybody watching how they can find you on YouTube and what some of the things they can look forward to coming.
Coming up, we do have some seasonal things.
Yeah.
Okay, because we're right up on Thanksgiving,
it's
Christmas,
fall. Yeah.
and so we're going to be doing. I really want to revamp my. Turkey gravy before before the feast.
Right.
I do want to bake a turkey.
Yeah. Nice.
There's some really interesting little things to know about that.
And everybody's doing pumpkin everything. You got any pumpkin recipes?
We're going to do pumpkin pie with a real pumpkin.
Are you really?
Oh yeah, we're going to do.
Miss Pam brought over a whole dish full of pumpkin muffins this morning, so I've eaten half of one. I'm going to load in a minute. So you got some pumpkin stuff coming up too.
Yeah, we do. We do. So we're going into the seasonal stuff.
Yeah.
But there'll be seafood dishes coming up.
You got Thanksgiving coming, Christmas coming, and then all the specialty items.
And look, I'm going to tell you, I just talked to Pam this morning about a dish that. This is not something a seasoned chef would really want to serve.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you something. If you've never had taco soup, you're missing out.
I've had it in Mexico, never in Louisiana. I'd be interested to try yours.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
But it's delicious.
Yeah. Well, if you need somebody to taste test, let me know.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'll definitely bring you some.
Yeah.
But anyway, if anybody was looking for my channel, it's simply The Sanders Kitchen
on YouTube.
And we would be so blessed to have new subscribers.
Yeah. So your most watched video is almost 10,000. So you're probably approaching 100,000 views right now, and all combined.
Oh, I just looked at. I don't know.
Yeah,
you're right. You're right, because that one's got 9,000, and I don't know if I know how many. Yeah, how many views?
Yeah,
I haven't seen that.
I was in your small group a few semesters ago. You and Pam led a small group for
a cooking class.
Yeah, cooking class, and I joined it. I came over basically just to eat what you guys were cooking. So it was one of my favorite small groups of all times. Just because it involved my love language.
Yeah.
Food.
Do I have an extra minute?
Yeah, go ahead.
I just want to say that I learned recently from a guy in Connecticut that there's a tomato. It's a plum tomato.
Yeah.
And it's made by a company called Alta Cucina.
Yeah.
And I did ask a local grocery store to order that for me, and now they're stocking it.
Really?
But
so what's it called?
Alta Cucina.
Never heard
plum
of it.
Tomato.
Who's stocking it? That way I can.
Misers.
So
yes.
Over on military.
Yeah, but it's a big can. It's a big.
Yeah. So it's canned tomatoes.
It's a plum tomato, and what makes these tomatoes so interesting or delicious is that they come from Well, are you familiar with the island of Stanislaus?
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Okay, so I may not totally have this right, but it's they were growing these tomatoes.
Yeah.
on this island where there was this volcanic ash and all that, and it just gave everything such a great flavor.
You use it for like tomato sauce? Or what do you use it for?
Yes. Oh, gotcha. Yes. Make a great marinara sauce.
Nice.
It is the best. I mean, I'm sorry, Mom. I don't just put tomato sauce and paste and garlic. And I'm using a lot of plum tomatoes from St. Stanislaus.
Yeah, interesting.
And they're not expensive, but it's worth every penny because those plum tomatoes are so good. You can eat them right out of the can. Man. That's how delicious they are.
Yeah, that sounds amazing.
But if you want to make what we call a red gravy, of course, that's an argument, you know.
Yeah.
Is it sauce or gravy?
Right.
Well, whatever you want to call it, I'll eat it.
Yeah, just put it on something.
But those tomatoes are so good.
Some food. Yeah.
Man, I put them in so much stuff. It's amazing.
Yeah. Mike, I've enjoyed our conversation, man.
Me too. Thank you.
Enjoyed hearing
Thank you for having me.
About your stories, about all your recipes, and about your time with Frank and photography, and of course your YouTube channel. Thanks for all the great ideas and for all the great food you've made over the years for us. We have enjoyed every meal at your house. It's been such a treat.
And can I tell you, thank you for starting Journey Fellowship?
Oh man, well, you know, it's just been it's been the joy of our life. But thank you for your kind words. I appreciate that
right there is big for me.
God is so good, man. We've been having a great time together. And plus you and Pam are on our media team.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you guys are in camera and Pam is in the control room, and you guys help broadcast our online campus every Sunday. You're a key part of our media team. Thank you for all you do for Journey.
Oh man, I love it.
You add so much value, you and Pam, to our team and to our church, and we just love you. Well, we're going to wrap it up.
All right.
So thanks for joining us today. I'm Doug McAllister from Journey Fellowship Church, and you've been watching Stories I Didn't Tell Last Sunday. My guest today has been Mike Sanders from the Sanders Kitchen. Check them out on YouTube, subscribe, like, and share, because they have some great ideas and some holiday recipes coming up real soon. So we want to tell you how much we love you. And if you live on the North Shore or somewhere near Slidell, come visit us at Journey Fellowship Church. You can download the Journey app. Go to your app store, type in Journey Fellowship Church in the search bar. You can download the app. It is compliments of Journey. It is stock full of resources to help you grow in your faith, including driving directions, how to find us, how to get into a small group. You can watch past sermons, get connected in events, all that right from the app, or check us out at journeyfellowshipchurch.com, and we would love to meet you in person. Come visit us this Sunday, and go back and watch some of the playlist here on Stories I Didn't Tell Last Sunday. So until next time, Doug McAllister here for Journey, and we love you, and we enjoyed telling stories I didn't get to tell last Sunday.